Hey guys, Dex Water Adventures here. Man, I know it's been a while since I posted anything. Um, been busy. Been doing a lot of stuff at home, doing a lot of just work. Um, but there's some things that have happened. So I've been working on the boat a little bit, not a whole lot. But one thing I did do, as you can see, it is a nice dull white, right? Well, it's just for a reason. I went ahead and put some Interlux 2000E on top of on the bottom of the boat. The whole boat's been done. I did it off camera. Took me a while to do, but I had so much total boat fairing compound on the boat. Once I sanded everything, I went back and looked up and read that, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it says right there on Total Boat's website that you can't gel coat over their fairing compound. So I was kind of like, shoot, ran across that reading and figured, okay, well, I better do something. So I went with a Interlux 2000E, which is an epoxy barrier coat primer over the whole boat. It looks great. I actually like the dullness color. I wish I could find a color to paint the hull where it was flat. But so I've got 4 coats put on the boat. And my next step is to sand that down. So I've read some comments sanding anywhere from using 180 to 220 prior to putting gel coat on the boat. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a 220. I think a 220 will rough it up enough and work down some of these, you get kind of a roller mark from it. So I gotta work that down, and I'm really gonna get into this epoxy barrier primer coat so that the gel coat can really stick. This is my first time doing this, so I don't really know. I've looked from the experts, and one thing some of the experts said is to use this dry guide coat, to kind of help you know where you sanded and where you haven't. I've been using this stuff, and it's pretty good stuff. I mean, it really helps you with kind of understanding, where where you haven't sanded and where you've sanded before. So what we're going to do today, and I'm not going to do the whole boat on video. It'll take hours to do, but I'm going to show you kind of how I get started in doing this. So this dry coat, the dry guide coat, I'm going to apply it here to the back, and I'm going to apply it generously all over. I've never used this stuff before, so I don't know. But the experts say this will help me know where I've sanded and where I haven't. And I think it's really important that I get this sanded correctly, because this is what the gel coat is going to stick to. All right, so this is the gel coat will be my next coat, and there'll be I don't know. Ooh, this stuff's messy. I guess I'm doing this right. Never done this before. So what we'll do is we'll coat this thing up really good, and as you sand, this stuff will disappear. Let me move this over. As you sand, this stuff will disappear, and it will help you know where you've sanded and where you haven't. So I think this is really important on this step to use this. I've used it, like I said, I've used it before. I used it prior to putting this on, but this time I'm going to use it to help me identify all the ledges and any pinholes or any areas that are of concern that I need to take a look at. So let's give this stuff a try. So let's finish coating this up. And I do have my fan going. This stuff kind of makes a mess of you, but you can see how well it's darkening it up, and it will show imperfections, which is really what I want it to do. Once I get it all sanded, it will help me identify areas that we may have to go back incorrect. Boy, yeah, it makes a mess. So let's put our old mask on, put our safety gear on, and let's give this stuff a sand and see how this stuff works out first go around. And let's get this sanded again. This is with Interlux 2000E epoxy barrier coat primer. So this is a primer that I put on the whole boat. So anyway, all right, let's get this. Give it a try here and see what it looks like. One thing we need to do, we need to turn our vacuum on. Don't forget to do that. Kind of noticed it wasn't, should suck that stuff up through the hole. All right, let's see what we got here. See what this looks like. So you guys can see, I don't know how well you can see, but wow, really smoothed it out. Really nice. Got a little bump right here. Not sure what that was. That went back down to the gel coat. But you can see this gives me a good idea of what that's going to look like once that gets sanded down compared to that. That is, you can see all the orange peel in that, that primer. And now you can come over here. You can see how smooth. That's starting to smooth it out too. So looks like we're going to be doing the whole boat that way. There's going to be a lot of hand sanding around the edges. I try to stay away from these edges right here so that I don't make any valleys or peaks with it. But as you can see, woo, man, that stuff makes a mess. That black chalk, you can tell, might be best to wear some gloves. And probably if you don't want to get it all over your clothes, probably wear some kind of suit or something. But I can tell, took a lot of the orange peel out. I can go back and I can apply more of this dry guide coat. after I've done this, it should help me find anything that I particularly might have missed, or any pinholes, or any, like there's a little thing right there to address. So this will help and give me a good guide as to make sure I get everything sanded and can get all of the defects prior to doing the gel coat out of the way. So when we apply and we roll and tip our gel coat, we get everything that settles perfect. That's my goal. So guys, I know I've been gone for a while, haven't videoed a lot, but as you can see, the whole boat is done, top and bottom. One other thing I did while I was off camera, you guys know it's getting to be summertime, so it's about ready to get the jet skis out and get everything ready for the summer. But one thing I also did, I redid the trailer. So one of the things I went with, I got new lights put on it, and I went with this new product that should help the boat slide on and off easy. Normally I always put carpet on my boat, on the rails, but this time I figured I would try this stuff. It's supposed to be really neat, really slippery, work really well. Don't recall the name of the product. I did get it off Amazon. It was a very popular product. Watched lots of videos on it, and people use it. I was able to reuse the bunkie boards. Got all new wiring installed on the trailer. The tongue's all good. Everything's ready to go. I did rewire up new lights to it, so that took new wiring. So this is the next project to get back on and to get this boat done and to get that get everything sanded down. As you can see, I will say one thing, that Interlux 2000E, that barrier coat, it really filled in really good. And like I said, I did 4 coats, like the manufacturer says, and it really leveled things out really well. I had some areas up front where it was just fiberglass, just down to the fiberglass, and I applied this stuff after sanding the whole bottom. I applied it, and it really leveled things out really nice. Wow, got black stuff all over me. Woo, that stuff is nasty. So listen guys, I got this whole boat to do. I'm not gonna do the whole thing on camera. I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know how things are going, kind of show you the status. Once we get this bottom done, we're gonna be moving on to the top. We've got most of the top ready to go. We do have to sort this old seating system out yet because there's nuts on the bottom of that. If anybody has any idea how to get a nut off a bolt on these without cutting something, because there is no access panel to it, let me know. I think that was done from the manufacturer. Golly, man, this stuff made my whole face black. But let me know. I'd really appreciate it. All right, guys. I will see you guys in a couple days. I'll get an update on once this whole thing's sanded, and then we're going to probably do a whole video on the epoxy, or excuse me, the total boat gel coat install. So I'll do a full video on that. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update of where we're at on this. Give you a look, see, looks really good. Really, lots of holes, lots of stuff filled in. And as you guys know, in the back of this boat, there were hundreds of holes. And the transom's been redone. So you can see how well the transom came out. It squared up really well. I'm really happy with it. Really pleased with it on how well it turned out. A couple people have looked at it for me and said, wow, you would have never guessed that the transom had been replaced. And all the holes that were in the back of this boat have been filled in. And I'll be honest with you guys, I tried lots of cheats and lots of ways to fill them holes in. But this epoxy resin by Total Boat, which by the way, I'm not sponsored, so don't think I am, mixed with this 403 microfibers with some painter's tape and a little shot to inject it, was the final answer to filling in all the holes. I had attempted to use a total fairing compound to fill in holes. That doesn't work. So don't try to take the cheating way. It seems easy to fill holes with a fairing compound, but it's not the right way to do it at all. The best way to do it is with a resin, epoxy resin, and then some something to thicken it up with. So that's what I did use the 403 for. I used 403 to thicken that resin up and to make it where I can actually work with it. And then I injected it into, I re-drilled all the holes again, and I injected it into every single hole, taped it up, came out perfect. So if you're looking to take an easy way out on things, when repairing holes on boats and doing fiberglass work, don't. Listen to the experts online, do what they say, and your boat will come out looking good. And like I said, I'm very pleased on how well this has come out now. Now we got a lot of sanding. So I'll see you guys in a few days. Once I get this sanded down, once I get it wiped down, and once I use soap and water, re-clean the whole hull again, and then once I take a tacky cloth and get all that done, we'll be applying the, we're going to apply 2 coats of this Total Boat without wax. So we're going to do 2 coats of without wax, and then we're going to do 1 coat with wax. And the reason for that is I wanted it to stay kind of tacky after the first coat, so I can apply the second coat. And then I want the second coat to be a little tacky when I go apply the gel coat with wax. And once that all dries and settles and cures, I think it will come out looking amazing. But that's not the end of it. Then we have another step. Once the gel coat with wax has cured and everything, we have some wet sanding to do. And I've got all the sand net paper for doing that, and wet sanding it all the way down, starting with anywhere between 80 to 220 up all the way up to 2,000 sandpaper levels. You gotta do it if you want it to come out nice and shiny. So that's the next stages. That's what we got to do. So I'll keep you guys posted. I apologize it's been so long since I posted the video. Been busy with work, been busy with family stuff, and been busy getting 4 coats of Interlux 2000 installed on this and painted or rolled on over all of the fairing compounds so that we can actually do the gel coat. Anyway, hey guys, summer's here, get out. I'm gonna get the jet skis going. You see I got 2 behind me. One's already ready. Whoop, one's already ready. The boat is getting an impeller installed on it by Texas Malibu. And we gotta get these jet skis out and the Taki cap blown up, and we gotta get ready to start our adventures for the summer. This boat will be an all summer project. I don't expect to finish it this summer. Gonna do it all up, do it right. So we still gotta get out and we gotta get on our toys. So get out there and have an adventure. Love all y'all. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. Thank you for your comments. Woo, dirty. And thank you just to everyone that's kind of stuck with me through my journey here in the YouTube land. All right, Dex Water Ventures out.